Happiness is not a feeling, and that's incredibly good news. If happiness were just a feeling, you'd be chasing it and hoping to get it, and good luck. Your happiness is a combination of enjoyment, satisfaction, and purpose. Those are the three parts of happiness.
Arthur Brooks is a Harvard professor, social scientist, best-selling author, and columnist at The Atlantic, and he says joy is not about being happy all the time.
He explains in a new book that he co-wrote with Oprah called Build the Life You Want, The Art and Science of Getting Happier. And Arthur joins us now live. Thanks for being with us, Arthur.
Nice to be with you. How are you today? I hope you're happy.
Well, you know.
Have you been watching the show a long time?
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's all good. I understand it's a little gloomy out there in Chicago, but we'll take this, I think, this time of year.
You know, it's one thing to maybe change your attitude, but there's a big portion of the population who, maybe their life circumstance, their health, their family situation, their job, it's just not conducive to being happy, and it's just a struggle every day. So is there a way to even make yourself happy when you just have a lot of struggles?
Yeah, that's what the book that Oprah and I wrote is really all about. One of the biggest mistakes that people make is hoping that the world outside them will change. And only when it changes can we be happy. When my health gets better, when the economy turns around, when my kids start acting a little bit differently, then I can be happy. And the truth of the matter is, that day is never going to come. I mean, good things are going to come, of course. Their circumstances change, but you have to look inward. You have to manage yourself. And this book is an owner's manual for your emotions. And if you understand the techniques that we lay out based on the most modern neuroscience, but written for people who are not scientists, you can really change your life. I did it. Oprah did it. Lots and lots of people have done it. I'm about to go to class and teach it to my students here at Harvard. Anybody watching us today can do that if they read the book.
Well, we've all heard the saying, fake it till you make it, and I'm not sure how helpful that is, but you have one that may be a little more specific, and maybe you can elaborate. It's choose your reactions, not your emotions.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And one of the things that we have to understand is that our emotions come from an ancient part of our brain called the limbic system. We don't have good and bad feelings. There's no such thing. They're nothing more than information in a reaction to what's going on around us. There are things that are threats and things that are opportunities, and that leads to negative and positive emotions. Emotions are nothing more than data. They're nothing more than information. So what we need to understand is there are lots and lots of ways that we can react to the situations around us if we're paying attention to our own emotions. We need to be kind of scientists about ourselves. And so we go through a series of techniques of journaling, of meditation or prayer, where we start thinking about our own emotions and saying, is there another emotion that I could have at this moment? If I'm feeling resentful, could I choose to actually express gratitude? That's one of the greatest ones. If I'm feeling sadness, could I choose to express humor in the situation? And it turns out that you can do a lot of that and really change your life, and it's your choice, but you have to be aware, paying attention, and get these skills.
You also talk about the people you surround yourself with and how that impacts everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the biggest problems that people have is they surround themselves with people who are unduly negative, who are very judgmental about the world. Remember that you're creating your own ecosystem. You're like a fish in a fishbowl, and the water is the other people around you. You get to choose it to a very large extent. Now, you do live with certain people. I get it. And so to a certain extent, you need to change the temperature of the water. We have a whole chapter about families, about how to stop a negative virus, a contagion of bad feelings that are actually going on inside families. But to a very large extent with our friends, we can make decisions to be with people who bring out the best in us as opposed to the people bringing out the worst in us. But you have to understand how it works. And once again, we lay out some pretty specific basics on how to do that.
You talk about the feelings or emotions being input and information, but don't people struggle to sometimes interpret what's going on? That's why they go to psychologists.
Yeah, for sure. And that's one of the ways that we try to understand our emotions in the first place. We have a whole part of this book, and a lot of my work is dedicated to a set of techniques, and it has a big word, but it's very simple. The word is metacognition. And all it is thinking about your thinking. If you can actually analyze yourself, you can understand yourself a lot better. One way to do that is go to a therapist. Another way is to pray or meditate or journal. There's lots and lots of ways to do it. We lay out all the different ways to be metacognitive, but that's the point. If you want to manage your emotions and you don't want to be managed by your emotions, you have to start thinking about your emotions and not just say, I hope I have better feelings tomorrow.
Interesting. Well, for more, you can check out scienceofhappier.com, and you can follow Arthur Brooks on social media. Thanks so much. The name of the book is Build the Life You Want. Thanks for being with us.
Great to be with you. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.